Okay. Hi, everybody. So, Popper's Hungarian Rhapsody. It's a very gypsy-ish kind of piece with a lot of tempo changes, and I love this piece. I think it's so effective. Let's dive right in. So, the beginning is theatrical. Guys, you're an actor. We are actors. So when the pianist finishes their very bombastic, ridiculously bombastic intro, you have to also, don't be afraid to be a little cheesy there, because it's a cheesy piece. Let's face it. But it's a beautiful piece. Not to diminish the piece. So I like to, what do I like to do? So I connect those F sharp and A. So I finish on the down bow in measure 15, and then another down bow. And be energetic on that 16th note. And then those noodles, try to bring out the top of each, I don't know, how do we call this, rainbow? More or less. And then rosin, wipe it quickly on your pants, but discreetly, or if you have a napkin. So as you saw, I use one bow for the first kind of rainbow, then up bow, then another down bow, and this one I separate the bows so that I have more for the up, for the D on top. So now let's talk about how do we practice those harmonics. It's very hard to catch them when you're under pressure in front of an audience. So at home, I like to play them near the bridge and really get a super clear sound. So oh my God, my parakeets are going crazy. They must love harmonics. So just go back and forth, just like I'm doing now, until you're really, really sick of it. And then, again, grandioso. So, be grand. So, I lift the bow. And don't be shy sliding into that third. I do. And then abrupt change of mood. This is more singing. If you want to be extra cheesy, you can slide into the G. If you want to keep it kind of more classical, the way Starker plays it, don't slide so much. And here you can grow your vibrato on the F sharp in bar 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. This one in the molto espressivo. So start very little, very narrow vibrato and add amplitude and speed. Sorry, there's a lift between the first eighth and the second, the D. And I like taking freedom. All those noodles are almost improvisatory, and you should really be free with them. So don't play them too straight. Upbeat to bar 35, I like to change, not to do it the same as in bar 4, 3, 2, in bar 31. So the first one, and then 2 bars after. You see how this one I really had a much more audible shift, a real glissando into the D, almost exaggerated. So what you want is to change. There's a lot of repetition in this piece, and always try to vary the repetition. That creates interest. And here the odd note is the A sharp, and I like to bring it out. You can change your bow on the A sharp, or just give it a little more oomph. And then, so here you can do 1-3 or 3-3. And the way I like to slide is, so there's many ways to shift and to slide. One of them is to not to slide sustained the bow all the way from the F sharp to the B. That's a little too much for me. So I start sustaining closer to the B. So, and again, there is a gypsy there, a gypsiness to it. And here we start building. So we have 3 times B to B. So definitely vary your fingerings to make it more interesting. You don't want to play 3 times or always. So I like to shift the first time, then to cross the strings the second time, and the last one to shift from above. So the first shift I shift from below, and the last one. And the way I do this is sliding on the first finger, reaching the G, and then slap down the third finger. In bar 47 and 48, we have 3 different A's, and I like making each one of them different. So from before. So this is one idea, to slide on the D string, and then on the A string, and the last one I do an artificial harmonic with vibrato. That's just one way, but I really like the 3 different strings. There's a very famous violin piece that they use, what is it, the pateado? That the violinist goes E, 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 E on 4 different strings, and that kind of reminds me of this piece. And then there comes the cadenza. So this piece has a bunch of cadenzas, and this augmented second is a telltale sign that it's indeed a gypsy. It sounds Middle Eastern. And this, I would separate those 3 A's. Almost do some sort of a dramatic gesture there if you can. It's hard to catch that high A. And then you can slide down and spiccato with your bow. Or play like that. And I usually spiccato down. I think it's very cool. When you practice those scales, use stations. Go from the A to the F, A to the F to C sharp to A again to F to C sharp again. So this just kind of regulates how fast you're going, because obviously since the intervals are smaller on the top, your hand will have to kind of move a little slower in the beginning and then gradually a little faster. But those are all kind of millimeters of difference. And then add the spiccato. And then eventually you can do it octave by octave, so A to A. And then no stops. And then, but going up is the same thing. Something like that. And then be sure this pizzicato has to also be dramatic, otherwise it's a little odd. So like, is that a mistake? Why is he pizzicatoing there? In the Andante, bar 50, we have it's this ya papa. It's very Hungarian. As you know, the Hungarian language has the accent mostly on the first syllable, ya tata. So a word in Hungarian. We need a word in Hungarian. Give me a second.
Örvendek. Hogy vagy? Köszönöm jól. És te? Kérem.
It's not really, it has a groove to it. It's not pa pa pa. It's a... And I like sliding a little bit on those grace notes, so not just... But... So wherever possible, I use slides and colors to make this the fun piece that it is. And then, so again, that's on the beat here. This the little Vorschlagen, Japan. But here it is before the beat. I think I like to vary the grace notes so that sometimes they fall on the beat and sometimes they're before the beat. I think on the beat is 51, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 55, bar 55. It's on the beat. It's certainly printed that way, but the next bar I play them before the beats. And here I like to grow my vibrato from the A to the C. And again on the beat in 59. I like sliding from the E to the D in bar 60 to 61. So this is kind of the separation that I use. And then a shocking forte. So I don't prepare that forte, so it's a subito forte. And really relax there, and then or and here we start a little slower. And you have to keep in mind the piano part. It's the audience is like one of those places that the audience starts clapping with the beat. Slowly and little by little they get faster and faster. It's a very exciting moment, but you have to start it a little under, otherwise it's not effective. This Adlibitum, another quasi cadenza in 74. It's almost a speaking, a parlando kind of a passage, so be sure you're free, that every syllable is enunciated. It's almost a person saying words to it. Sometimes I like to invent words and put them into the music, even gibberish words. And I really like that slide. A juicy slide there. And be sure you pluck your the string if you're using your pinky to make it clear. And almost, and not almost, but not only do I slide up to a note, I also like sometimes to add a slide even if it's the repeated note. So here, upbeat to the fermata in bar 74, 76, 77. So 77, the A fermata. One before that. So I like to add that quarter tone slide. So I'll play it one more time. So I slide both from the B flat to the A, and then I just think it really adds a lot of color to this gypsy music. Here, the syncopations in the Allegro, which is the second page in my score, is also a very Csardas. It's a Hungarian music typical of this Hungarian Rhapsody style. So the syncopations come in the piano. So I like to lift again. So it's not, there's no sustaining there. And really don't be shy about ritardandoing, a very full ritardando. This is what creates that tension. And then resolution here. And those syncopations here that we play, you have to give a little bite to each note to make it clear. How do we catch that D? I like to tap it quickly before I play so I can hear the D. It usually works really well. And then the presto. So the presto is difficult. And what's difficult is that it's very long, and this muscle is really gonna hurt after a while. And you have to just develop the muscle. So just be sure you're practicing it, not just in small chunks, but the whole thing. Try to even play twice, just the presto section back to back, and see if you can do it. I mean, you will grow a big muscle here, but here it will be nothing. So I'll be, no, I'm just kidding. Don't worry. And you all know, to practice this way, I hope, and then you reverse this rhythm, the dotted rhythm, and you practice where the first note is a short note. So and then once you do each way a few times, you put them together, and it's much easier. It's more equal. It makes all those quick 16th notes very homogeneous, more equal. And then let's look at the middle of this passage, and you'll see that the green, there's a green line and there's a red line. So the green line goes in, and the red line goes. And then if we put them together, sometimes I play that, just breaking them. There's not enough time, if you're playing quickly, there's not enough time to really roll the chord on one beat. So I play this way. And then be sure you bring in there in the second part of this. Okay, so after this workout, and you finish with also I think I would finish with a crescendo. So and then again, abrupt change of mode. This is much more intimate. Again, this Hungarian yata. This is a con molto espressione, so use again the whole bow, especially here. And then I like to play an echo here, and the second time it comes bar 174. And shimmering vibrato, meaning very fast vibrato, but narrow. And in bar 175, I like to do a little bit of an accelerando, like something falling, gradually picking up speed. Ya, yada, yada, la-dum. So. Sharp should be very expressive. 177. Again, we have that augmented second. And you can also glissando almost inaudibly from the A to the C sharp. I like to play on the beat, this grace note. And here, so the piano has this tremolo, and this is much more stormy than the first time the subject comes. So. And here it's again very free. It's very tricky to put it together with a pianist, so you should be sure you have enough rehearsals. I like glissando wing on those thirds. Jumping ahead to the Allegro vivace, the way I like like to play the Allegro vivace is by sneaking into it and starting the faster tempo bit by bit. But obviously you can choose otherwise, but either way I do it. And I like to add those slides as well. By bar 9 of the Allegro vivace, I'm in tempo. So and much more rowdy. So I do a crescendo there. And don't forget that the piano takes it away from you right there. So don't diminuendo, but give your phrase to the piano. And then bum 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 bum. The end is the same. Those are tricky. There's no shortcuts really, so you have to just practice it slowly. Also, perhaps with the stations that I talked about before, trying to hit that high D octave right on. That's most important. And this is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.